Yeah, buddy. What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Childish. We're back at it again with the next unit showcase. This one's going to be out for the month of February. As you guys know, with the recent room removal, we will generally do a quick unit showcase just to kind of give you guys an update on what's going on. It's kind of cool. I actually don't. There was maybe only 6 or 7 units that got changed around. I really didn't think there was going to be too many units, considering the fact that I generally will move runes around as I get them when I need them. But we did get an opportunity to play around with a couple of different rune combinations, so we're going to get right to it. I will spend a little bit more time on the ones that I made big changes on, and then just do kind of a brief overview on the ones that I generally use, so you guys can know what I'm doing here. So no changes to the Megan. She is rocking the speed, hit point, accuracy, violent will. Again, violent is extremely OP when it comes to Dragon Speed 10. If you're using her in combination with like a Bella as far as buff remover. So having that on a violent set is great. And in addition, I have her on will because she is the reason why I can basically do really well with any Leo team that comes at me, whether it's Go Wars or Arena. So again, that is that. No usage for the Water Kung Fu Girl, just for the World Boss. Kaz right now, even though he is Rune Swiftblade and I can throw him in as a backup for Theo if I need a YOLO team, he's still going to be kind of, again, just for the World Boss, just the backup unit. Well, some big changes to Regal here. He was in a Violent Broken set and he went through 2 or 3 different sets, but we basically, his stats were around the 1100, I think just around the 1100, 1084, something like that, attack power. As you can see, he has an additional 200 attack, but he has dropped in 30% critical damage. And even though the change has been dropped, guys, he is still hitting for 14k a tick on Necropolis boss with the attack buff and the defense break when he crits. So, you're looking at 56k with that second skill, which is basically half of the life of the boss. Extremely strong. Unfortunately, his speed is a little bit slower, but that's only relative to the part leading up to, up to the boss. When he reaches the boss, then he's doing well with regards to his speed. I think the speed was 115, I believe it was the cap, so he's just a little bit shy. But again, we're going to make a little bit of effort to improve the runes and whatnot so I can make sure that he's at cap. Obviously, I don't want him slacking too much, but at the end of the day, the amount of attack power and critical damage is very in comparison to what I had prior to, but because I have him on a revenge set, now I have a little bit more opportunity of clearing it quicker because I'm getting a few extra counter attacks when I get them. Next up, the bread and butter of my account here, right? We got ourselves Chandra. No changes to him. Still HP, crit damage, HP. Happy to see the changes for the to us, but still needs to get reworked so that this skill is conditional. Hashtag Chandra Rage. I'm waiting for that to get changed. But again, yeah, Violent Revenge, it's obviously standard when it comes to Chandra if you can get it in. And so HP crit damage attack. HP crit damage, HP, oh my god, fail, epic fail. Okay, no changes. Well, technically, yes, changes on Sigmaris, but he's still Violent Blade, attack, crit damage attack. Nothing crazy out of here. Tyron, a little bit of a change. I actually had him over 1200 attack and 109 speed. I switched around his 4-slot rune because I wanted to use his 4-slot rune for another unit that needed just a tad bit more speed to be synergized, which I will show. Orion, Violent Broken, speed, defense, hit points, and it's defense hit points just because that's what the units and runes landed on. He could be speed, hit point, hit point. He could technically be speed, defense, defense for all I care. I'm just looking to keep him on Violent over 230 speed. The goal was to put him on Violent Will, but if I were to put him on Violent Will, I would be somewhere in the vicinity of 200 speed Orion, and that would be quite the drop when it comes to Go Wars. I wouldn't be as competitive if I wasn't sitting over 230 right now, so I have to keep him at 230 until I get some more runes. But overall, an amazing unit, guys. If you guys have him, and not using him, you're missing out. Now he's not gonna shine until he gets that harmless prank in, so you got to make sure you max that out. Theomar's technically, actually, there was a change. I broke his Violent Revenge set. His Revenge rune was this one, okay, as you can see right here. And then I was able to pull this one about a month ago, which was the same critical rate, same critical damage, but I got 14 speed. So since he is a part of my Guild Wars, defense, Guild Wars defense, I swapped this out about 2 weeks ago because this put me within that 76% range of my Orion, so there was no gap or whatnot. I was running a little bit under the gap, the 70%, so that allowed me to push through. I actually attempted to make him a speed-based Theo, but the broom combinations didn't allow me to get the speed that I wanted without dropping literally 500 attack. I'm at plus 1400 attack, and I was down to like plus 900 or something like that. Quite the drop. So even with the speed boost on the first skill, the damage was more or less the same, if not a little bit lower. So chilling. No changes to him. He is a big part of my Necro run. I did pull the Fire Elven Archer, so I possibly will be switching it out later on. But I've already invested in his skill ups or whatnot to improve this. So right now I'm just going to use him for the time being. My Necro team is a sub 2 minute team, so I'm happy to keep it the way it is until I, get some free fire to level it up. Galleon. A little bit of swapping with regards to some of the violent and focus runes, but overall, still the same. I'm going with the hybrid format because I am able to get 75% accuracy without sacrificing accuracy on 6. I highly recommend making a combination of attack at HP if you can, or even if you like to play on the offensive side, then play around with like a speed, crit damage, attack. His damage modifiers on these first and second skills are actually really good, and so. It's nice to play around with him on a little bit of damage, but again, because of the fact that I want to have an option for, keeping him alive. And if I'm unfortunate to get hit once or twice or he get targeted, I want him to have a little bit of hit points as I don't want him to die away within the Guild Wars too quick. So yeah, buddy. All right. So next one up, Stella. No changes. If you saw the recent critical thinking vid, no changes since then. Violent focus, speed, attack, hit points. The goal was to put her on a Violent Revenge, but in the Violent Revenge, I was not able to maintain the speed and the accuracy, and the critical rate even dropped that I wanted, so I had to keep her a little bit lower. Now, again, chances are, though, the next time you see a video of this will be changed to a Violent Revenge. But again, I didn't find the right combination and stuff. Some of these focus runes and whatnot had some great subsets that allowed me to play around with a different mix of runes and units, but overall it's really good. So we got ourselves Rogue, speed, attack, Violent Revenge. Again, a big part of my Necropolis team. All of you guys that have been watching since the beginning of the time, right? You guys know that most people, started out with Colleen and Bella as the two healers or whatnot, and then I realized as your units get stronger, you can get a little bit more aggressive with your approach. And Rogue was the one that allowed me to do that. If you guys even remember, my first Necropolis B10 auto was with Rogue, and even though people, criticize it or whatnot because it's kind of a gamble, it's only a gamble if you don't have it synergized well with the damage. Okay, he's speed, attack, but my damage dealers have crit damage on the 4 slot, so they're generally always getting pulled. I mean, if Rogue gets pulled, that's because he had that RNG factor of like attacking 10 times, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's really rare because he's generally breaking the shield versus actually doing the damage on the end. So here we go. Hua, another top unit for me right now. Speed, attack, Violent Revenge. This is a substantial unit for my Dragons B10 team as well as the Rifting team right now. So Rifting team is where it's focused. Trying to keep the crit rate as high as possible. Accuracy is good, speed is good, but I want to improve it. Have a couple of speed runes here, speed runes that I have ready to enchant when I take this out. I want to put a little bit of speed on that. But overall, no changes to her. with these stats, guys, I think without a, I'm pretty sure it's without a, or with a defense break. Even though it's not rocking, we're not rocking crit damage here, with this kind of attack power, this kind of speed on the first skill, we're generally hitting anywhere from 15 to 18k on a defense broken unit. So kind of take note if you're looking at that. Let's see. Okay, so Clara, yeah. So Clara, I just kind of threw some runes on. Weird combination, speed, crit damage, attack, but I had a couple of subsets here that allowed me to get a little bit extra attack power, so our attack power is not suffering too much. Honestly, I ain't gonna lie, I love this unit. I love the base stats and whatnot, but I like her more for like a TOA, just kind of a CC and kind of a unit. But I have not found too much value in using her in the PvP format. Her damage multiplier on the second skill is really great, but I do not like the third one. It generally hits for what is it, like anywhere from 18 to 20k AoE, but these units with the multiple hits on the third skill, I just haven't seen too much value, right? If I don't have that max critical rate, then it's not doing too well. Now, of course, this skill allows you to have a 100% critical chance when you're full HP, but anything can happen on the PvP world, and if you get knocked down, then there's a chance for it not to be max, and so there you go. Spectra, no changes to him. Speed, critical rate, accuracy, making sure my critical rate is maxed out and getting my accuracy as high as possible. He was part of my Dragons B10 team, but I actually swapped him out for Hua, so I'm not using Spectra anymore, so I left him around in case I ever go back to him. No changes to Draco. Draco is speed, HP with speed substats on the 1, the 3, and the 5, over 200 speed. I use him every now and again in the Guild Wars if I want to go with a double attack H buff. Draco, Chandra, Bella is what I do, and so that's where we're at. Next one up, this unit made a substantial change about a week ago, but now I'm have the opportunity to show them. Okay, so Leica, big change here. We got ourselves, instead of attack crit damage attack, we're going with speed crit damage attack. Okay, and the reason being is, as you guys know, Leica's damage multipliers is extremely strong, and that allows me to sacrifice attack power to improve my speed. And so if you notice here, we got Orion at 233, so 70% of that is going to be around that 167. We got 166 for Theomars, and we got ourselves, where's he at? We got 162, so we're pretty darn close here. This is definitely one of my YOLO teams out there. I love the Theomar Orion Leica combination. Why? Because Theomars obviously has the elemental advantage, and then Leica cannot glance on any element, so I have a better chance than most units going up against a weaker element to critically hit. So it's really nice. Calling no changes. Everybody knows how this rolls, right? Speed, hit points, or speed, hit point, defense. I do defense just because I needed the speed here, obviously. Nothing really excited to talk about Colleen. Everybody knows about her, so yeah, buddy. Vanessa, no changes. So her is HP. She was HP defense HP, but I had to swap some of the units about a month ago to get my rifting team a little bit up on top. I'm not using Shiwa right now for the time being because I have I already have my Necro team established, and I have another unit for branding on the rifting skill. Chloe, I did actually. This is crazy. I don't even know why I did it, but I did mix around some runes to get her on a swift will. Don't ask me why, because I rarely use her. But every so often I do use. I mean, it's really rare though. Anyways, yeah, swift will, speed, HP. Standard stuff. You all know what it is. Ardella, not using her. She's just for the world boss. Jameer, we got ourselves HP, defense, HP. You can see right here, these were Vanessa's runes from a month ago. Now I have them on Jameer. I like the overall defense on here. I like the overall hit points. And the critical rate is good. So yeah, nothing too much to complain here. I could make an effort to make a little extra defense on it, but he does well. He does well in R5 with those stats here. So no changes in my two Lucians. One's Despair Blade, one's Vampire Blade. The goal was originally to try to see if I can get one of these what's it called, the Despair Blade, or one of my slower Lucian on Will, in case I do run into a team that has a Nemesis. But I don't have enough Will runes with high critical rate to allow me to keep up with the critical rate that I need. So as you can see, I have my Lucians above 70%. That's like kind of a standard for me. That's what I do for all of my units, try to keep them above 70%. And so, you know, continuously working on the grindstones in an effort to improve our stats overall. So as you can see, I'm rocking attack or damage attack for both, but because my speed substats are extremely well, I don't have any issues with you know, doing my Lucian combination. I run a, you know, Bernard Megan double Lucian combo, and it works really, really well. Delphoy, Violent Nemesis, Speed, Hit Point, Defense. She is part of my front line with Jameer. I have her on a Nemesis, obviously because she's my cleanser, and I want her to get her skills up as fast as possible because the dragon hits a lot. Using kind of a weaker rune here, but because of the resistance here, I want to keep her at 50 plus, you know, resistance. So that's the reason why I'm using that. If that was not the case, I would probably use a different rune subset so I can get her stats a little bit higher. But I believe Nemesis is going to be the stronger point for her. I recommend Nemesis for all healers with the exception of Colleen. Okay, Chisoon, no changes here. She was like Theo, where I was going to make a little bit of an effort to get her on a speedier kind of setup, maybe like a speed hit point if I had the hit point substats on the 1 to 3 to 5, but I couldn't make it worth the change. I was able to get her speed maybe upwards of like 195 with 31k HP, which I think is not too bad. But again, excuse me, like I stated, I could have made the change here, but to have, you know, Theo also be changed or whatnot, so I can have him, you know, synced within the party, it would not have helped me. I would not have been able to do it and keep him at, you know, relatively good stats with a critical rate and so on and so forth. So so we just kind of left her with this particular setup. She is synced with Vanessa, so that if I do run a Vanessa Chisoon combination on the AD with whatever units I rune, Vanessa revives, and then Chisoon will Fallen Blossoms or heal right after that, so I can make sure that those are tuned up there. That's the big reason why I kept her at the 170. Brienne, nah, not really too many changes here. HP, defense, HP, just basically improving the substats on the, you know, grindstones, improving the substats there. Critical rate's a little bit lower. I made a swap to give a critical rate on one of my units that you'll be seeing here, but the accuracy is all right. So yeah, overall it does well. I like the hybrid format because if I'm running a Chisoon on my TOA team, then Chisoon I'll get more value out of the heal. But yeah, Bernard, speed, hit point, resistance. Now this is a great opportunity to kind of showcase this rune here. We got so many people out there that are so against, you know, resistance runes out there, but again, guys, certain units require certain stats, and it's irrelevant what you know, runes you use, right? If I was able to get, you know, 300 speed on Bernard with a broken set without Swift, I would do it. You know what I'm saying? And so just a quick shout out to all my broken random Yun users out there. This is one of the runes that gave me the edge to keep my 275 speed. You know, if I didn't have that rune, it would definitely be a little bit lower. No changes to Bernard. 275 speed is a really, really good number to have right now in the meta, in the Guardian 1, 2, and 3 meta. Of course, you're going to have your speed leaders whatnot to kind of combat with that, but 275 is pretty safe. I'm able to clear the majority of the Chloe-based teams with my devolutions out there if they're running that particular setup. So, okay. So Charlotte got an overhaul. So you guys won't be able to see it too much, but she was a Despair Blade, and she's Despair Broken now. I took Tyron's rune right here, and then I took what's it called? Rygo's rune right here. So now instead of 80 critical rate and 120 critical damage, she is now at 77 critical rate, 160 critical damage, and 150 more attack. So now she's going to be hitting in the 6 to 7k per hit on the third skill, which is good. And her speed is synced up in a couple of different ways. And I'll show you. We got ourselves synced up at 174, right under Galleon at 175. In addition, we have her right above my Lucian, and of course, way above this Lucian here. But the thing of it is, guys, I use a lot of a variety of YOLO teams in my Guild Wars. I've always stated this in my arena tactics, and my Guild War tactics. On the PvP side, I have a hard time breaking away from a safe approach. I get pretty aggressive with some of my attacks, and so I find the game to be more fun when I create different types of YOLO based teams, different types of aggressive approach, because I like to push the limits and see what I can do. And the majority of the times it works well because I analyze the fight before I get into it. But as you know, and anybody that watches my videos, or for anybody that's in Alpha that have seen me randomly lose the draw to a person that probably shouldn't have lost to, it could always backfire, depending on what they're bringing to the table. So that being said, though, Charlotte, I wanted to invest a little bit more into Charlotte because I did put in the effort to skill her up. I do believe that her third skill is very underrated and overlooked, and so I wanted to use it for the time being. Some of the combinations I use with Charlotte, so it's Charlotte plus Lucian plus either Galleon or Megan. So I will use Megan with the Violent Will versus any Leo team in the Guild Wars, right? And then if I find a tankier team, or if I find a team with like two tanky units and like a Theo Mars, like they're trying to run some kind of a combination that allows for Theo Mars, whatever, then I will run myself Galleon with the two win units here, and the speed that I have. If it's good enough, then I'll run I'll run Charlotte on the lead so I can get more critical rate. But generally speaking, it's either Galleon or Charlotte lead, and then Lucian to finish off. Both of them on despair, so if I don't kill them, they're gonna be stunned. Like, there's just no getting around to it. If they have will, GG, but that's about it. Obviously, I'm not using Amon. Darian, I use him every now and again. I just had a nice combination of runes to, get myself the hit points that I want with the critical damage that I want, but overall, rarely gets used, just playing around with him. Arya, same thing. I have a different combination of CC units that I use: Thrain, Tyron, Beretta, Vermos, and Jameer on my CC team for TOA, so I rarely use them. No changes on Beladion, Violent Nemesis, speed, hit point. I'm trying to get as much speed, hit point, and accuracy as possible. Staying away from the accuracy rune on 6 so that I can keep him as tanky and as fast as possible. Corona, people were asking about it. No changes to him. He is just a buffer, guys. I use him for secret dungeons, so there is no focus on him. Speed, hit point, defense. He actually has a good amount of defense, considering the fact that it's just the runes, though. But again, no focus on him. Vermos, no improvement as far as the runes go, but the grindstones have obviously improved because he is a substantial unit in my Guild Wars. 222 speed, over 1600 defense, and 25k HP. So he's a fun unit. Julton, no use there. Basalt, no use. You got the hit point defense. Violent focus. Accuracy has been high for quite some time. No changes to that. Really good stats here for TOA. They could improve if I get better subsets on runes, but that's pretty much it on that one. Beretta, no changes here. Actually, I did have a small change, but I gotta put back the rune because that's a fail. That's a fail, son. I forgot to add it back there, but he generally runs with 180 speed, so I gotta improve that. But overall, that's pretty much it. I use Mav every now and again. Violent focus, speed, hit point on the TOA hard bosses, and then Thrain, I'll use him again on the CC, my CC team when I need him. Speed, hit point, accuracy. I'm trying to give him a little bit more HP here because he's 5-star whatnot. And then of course this curriculum, hopefully gonna be able to test him out later on down the road. I did a little bit of testing with runes him a 5-star, but it didn't do any justice because he's 5-star and whatnot. He's not even max, so hopefully I can play around with him in the future. But at this time, guys, that's pretty much the majority of my units and runes. Thank you guys all for staying around for such a long video. I appreciate your support as always. It's your boy Childish with Childish Plays checking out. Take care, and we will see you next time, guys. We're out.